So Lenovo just released a new model of their Lenovo Legion 5 just a few months ago. Lenovo has changed some features this year on the Lenovo Legion and has made quite a few improvements on this laptop. And I personally think that it's one of their best gaming laptops for the specs and value for $1,000. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the review. Now to start off with the review, I'm going to talk about the design, and to be honest, I really like it. It's very clean, and it's one of the least gamer looking laptops I've really seen, and it doesn't have any gamer accents or any biased colors on it. Now compared to last year, the Legion text on the 2020 model does not light up anymore like it did last year. Instead, it's just some kind of faint iridescent shimmer with the text on it. Also, it has the metal badge on the left side of the laptop that says Lenovo. The display of the laptop can be opened up with just only one hand. The display has almost no flex, and that's pretty nice too. Now, a cool feature I like about this laptop is the camera up top, and there's this privacy cover where you can adjust it yourself, and it's especially convenient if you're concerned about your privacy, so you can simply just cover it when you're not using your camera. Now, my favorite part of the build and design of this laptop is the palm rest and the keyboard. About the palm rest, I'm really surprised that it actually has this nice texture to it. A thing you should know about when buying laptops is that the palm rest is like one of the most important things when you're typing on the laptop or if you're using it for long periods of time, and you don't want a palm rest to be very gummy. You just want it to be like very smooth. The trackpad is pretty accurate. It's using Windows Precision Driver, so that's nice. So overall, the laptop is made of this nice texture, and in my opinion, I think it's going to be very durable. It's going to last for a pretty long time. And the display of the model I have has a 144 Hz monitor refresh rate and also a 300 nits brightness, which, to be honest, it's excellent for gaming and content creation with this 300 nit brightness. Now let's take a look at all the ports on the laptop. The laptop comes with 4 USB-A ports, 2 on the back, 1 on the left and right. On the back side of the laptop, there's an Ethernet port, there's a USB-C port, and 2 USB-As like I discussed earlier, and there's also the port for the charger. And unfortunately, the USB-C port does not support Thunderbolt, so if you're going to need it, then you have to get a Lenovo Legion 7. Now the next thing I'll be talking about this laptop is the overall performance on it. Now the model I have is running the AMD Ryzen 7 4800H 8-core 16-thread processor, also paired with a GTX 1660 Ti, which will get you around 100 frames per second in most AAA titles. You can also switch between performance modes, such as quiet mode, auto, and high performance mode. And a new thing they added this year is the color LED on the power button, and it will change depending on which mode you're currently on. Unfortunately, you can't really adjust the fan speed manually, which is kind of unfortunate, but if you don't really tamper with that stuff anyways, then it doesn't really matter. Now let's take a look at the benchmarks. And for the AMD Ryzen 7 4800H, which is a CPU I have in the Lenovo Legion 5 here, it's actually significantly better than the most commonly seen CPUs, such as the Core i7 10th Gen and 9th Gen, or the AMD Ryzen 5 4600H. And mainly the reason for this is probably because that the Ryzen 7 4800H has more cores and more threads, since it has 8 cores and 16 threads, while the other ones like the AMD Ryzen 4600H and the Intel Core i7 10th and 9th Gen have only 6 cores and 12 threads. And the main advantage of getting a higher core count is that you'll be able to get through those really tedious tasks a lot more quicker, such as like rendering a really long video. So if you plan to do some content creation on this laptop, then you're going to get a ton of value from the CPU and the high core count, considering that you don't really normally expect to get such a powerful CPU GPU combo along with really nice build quality with just only $1,000. Now, performance on the GTX 1660 Ti was pretty good, and in my experience, it almost performs the same as the RTX 2060, and the difference is not that huge. The RTX 2060 is just a tiny bit better when it comes to performance, Although you may think that with the ray tracing it may be significantly better, since very few AAA titles or games even use that feature, then you're not really going to have advantage of getting the RTX 2060 by spending a few hundred more dollars. So don't really stress much about the laptop not having the RTX 2060 or a better GPU. The laptop does a pretty good job with cooling. Apparently in the build it has this kind of part sticking out, which kind of makes the build look weird, but it's apparently better for cooling, and I guess it's a bit of a compromise. Temperatures never really got over 79 degrees, which is pretty good. Like, the fans are probably like one of the best, and it's really quiet, and it does a really good job of cooling the CPU and the GPU. Now, the one thing I don't really like about this laptop is the battery life, which sucks. It's to be expected since the laptop is running a really powerful CPU and GPU, but I wish the battery would have been a bit bigger inside the internal system of the Lenovo Legion, because then the battery life would be a lot longer. The laptop has a 60 watt-hour battery, and in my experience, when I'm browsing the web and doing simple tasks, I get around 2 to 3 hours, and when I'm playing games, I'm only getting about an hour. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this laptop, and it's a pretty solid system after all. Now, there's something I'd like to say before this video ends, and it's about the pricing of this laptop. Now, the model I am reviewing in this video is not the base model, it's actually an upgraded model. And the base model starts at around $800. It has a GTX 1650 Ti along with 120Hz refresh rate, sometimes 144Hz. It depends on where you buy the laptop from. Well, my point is that if you're going to plan on buying the Lenovo Legion, I don't really recommend getting the base model. Like I said before, I think it starts at a GTX 1650 Ti paired with the 120Hz refresh rate. And the reason for this is that the GTX 1650 Ti, it's a pretty entry-level specification. You won't really get that much high frame rates, and you're not really taking advantage of that high refresh rate since it's 120Hz. And if you do want to take advantage, you're going to have to scale down those settings. So if you're going to want to take advantage of that high refresh rate and get high frame rates in games, I'd recommend getting a Lenovo Legion with at least a GTX 1660 Ti in order to get a lot of value. Now, I know that was a lot to say, and you're probably like pretty confused right now, but my overall point is that if you were planning on getting that base model, I'd recommend saving up and try to get the model I have in this video, or even get a Lenovo Legion with better specifications. So that does it with this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications, especially if you're new to the channel. But anyways, I'm Houndx, and I'll see you all in my next video.